What is going on, guys? We have a very exciting video. You guys have been asking about the GT500, when it's going to get tuned, and we have the lethal triple pump fuel system we're going to be installing on the GT500 today. Now, this is getting the car ready to go ahead to Palm Beach Dyno and make over 1,000 wheel horsepower on E85. So we went with the lethal triple pump setup. It did take a little while, not because of anything Lethal could control, but the pumps, the 465s, were out of stock for a little while. So we got those in, and then this is actually Lethal's new fuel system. It actually goes directly to the rails and then to the regulator, which we'll show that here in a little bit. We are at Modular Head Shop. Since I can't really work on the car very well at the moment, Jordan is going to be helping. We also got Nick here, he's going to be helping. But we got all the stuff here laid out, and we're gonna get cranking on this. So we got everything laid out. We got the Division X triple pump hat. We got all the pre-made lines. It's gonna do a full feed and return as well. We got the air motive regulator. We got the lethal wiring, Division X rails. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get this thing in here. We got not 2, but 3 465 pumps. We should have plenty of fuel to make over 1,000 wheel horsepower in E85. So we do have to pull the blower, since you can't pull this side rail off. It's actually not too hard, so we are gonna get started with that. We also are going to pull up the back seat, get under there, access to that. It's not too bad of an install, but we're gonna take our time, make sure everything's good, make sure there's no fuel leaks, and we should be ready to rock. All right, so you get access to the fuel pump under the driver's side back seat.
Yep.
Got Jordan, of course, helping out.
What's up? All right. That part done. I'll have to pull that. We are going to relieve some pressure of the fuel system, though, before we do any of this. Just kind of getting a look at it here. Loosening this now.
There we go.
Got it?
Oh, this is full of fuel.
Yeah.
All right, we got the fuel pump out. And how fun was that?
Got it. Not fun.
Not fun.
Getting really freaking irritated. It's been a long day for me. No, I had to snatch this ring out of here pretty hard. Like, it's about the same diameter. So.
Yep, so that's the factory. Obviously, this is returnless. It actually supports a lot of power. We were making over 800 on E85. So
this is actually the first S197 fuel pump I've ever pulled. They're
actually the same, 2011 to I think 17, maybe 19. They're all that style.
This is the hardest part to get out, just like the 0304 Cobra. I used to do a ton of those, you know.
Yep. I believe we need to swap the assembly too.
We do.
The level sender. But yeah.
So we'll get that off here, and then we'll get all the parts transferred. We'll get the other pumps installed into the billet hat.
Yeah. Shout out to Jordan for helping. You know, while I'm a cripple status. And we'll be ready to make some power Monday.
Oh yeah.
Pop that off of there, and then I think, do we just snip it?
I'm not sure yet. We're gonna have to go back and read the instructions.
Yes, sir.
We're not skipping steps.
So if you guys want to pick up the lethal fuel system that we have here, we'll have a link down in the description. Go ahead and check that out. I believe Mustang Lifestyle is also a coupon code that you can use there too, so you can go ahead and try that. They also have the same fuel system for Coyotes, GT500, Cobras. We ran the lethal fuel system in my 03 Cobra actually, and that worked out very well. That's why we're going with it again.
I think that's where we clip on maybe the sender.
Yeah. So we got Division X rails. Very nice. Wiring. Got this big old regulator here. Super nice. Fuel filter.
Alright, so what I gathered from the instructions is this is pump 1 or 2, and this is pump 1 or 2. If you have 3 pumps, we're going to put a hose barb here. If you only had 2, they supply you with a little block off. Here's a little.
So we're going for the big boy. 3 pumps.
Big boy. It does have an O-ring on there, and it is a 13, so I'm just actually going to slide this over that.
I like that.
Nice and snug. All right, the next part is another plug. They send 2 plugs with this, right? So you're going to use both of them if you only have 2 pumps. You're only going to use one of them if you have 3 pumps. The second one is going to be for the return, whether you want it to puke out the side or the bottom. Instructions say they prefer the side. Sounds good to me. So go ahead and install that right here. Next is the O-rings. There's 6 O-rings here. Got to install them here. These are kind of what supports the pumps in the housing. They act like an insulator.
Yeah, everything's super high quality.
Alright, so we got a line that runs from the fuel pumps.
We've kind of mocked them up.
2 clamps on there. A little bit of lube.
Just like that.
Yes, sir.
And we just repeat the same process for the rest of the 2 pumps.
Gotta put your socks on, children.
3 plugs for 3 pumps, and then 2 wire leads for our level sender.
Yep.
And that's it, man.
That is it.
So we don't have any hob switch or anything like that. We're gonna be running 3 pumps all the time. Should be good.
Man, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
This
is
pops
really
on
nice.
there, right?
Yeah, it just clips in.
Should. Yep, there you go.
Wow.
Very nice.
Awesome design.
And we got our 2 wire leads, so we'll strip those, and then it looks like we got a spade connector.
Spades.
Yep, 2 spades.
Those will click right in, and polarity doesn't matter on that.
Sweet.
And those just plug right in.
Cool.
I like it.
I'm gonna see what I need to do here. I'd rather wire some of this outside than inside.
Yep. I think that's what this end is for.
Should be, yeah.
I
Okay.
think we got 3 power leads and then 3 grounds, it looks like, pretty much. So we're just going to connect our fuel hat wires. There's 3 red ones and 3 black ones. It's pretty simple. And we got this harness lead that'll make the fuel pump easy to unplug and plug back in. And we got some nice heat shrink.
So yeah, we're gonna crimp. We'll crimp all these on one side, slide the heat shrink on, let it sit back here, crimp the other side, hit it with a lighter.
All right, got the connections. Melt the heat shrink. And we'll have a nice harness. And we got our harness built out to our plug.
Yep.
And the 2 wires off of there, those are our level sender, which goes into the factory. 2 factory plugs or wires.
These don't have to be super tight because they are an O-ring Boss style fitting. It's a really nice kit. These are nice too because they swivel, so you can put them however you want to. Not really sure which direction I'm going yet, so we're just gonna play that part by ear. I think we're ready to drop this thing in the tank.
Looks like it.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not gonna do probably this evening is heat shrink these.
Yeah, a little bit of fuel spillage.
Yeah, there's a little bit of fuel in the back seat, so I'm not gonna be stupid with it.
Nope.
Alright, here we go. Alright.
Here's the completed.
I'm gonna be very careful, try to get the sending unit in there first. That part is good. Get these wires in. I'll try to do one at a time. Fuel hat is in though, ring is on, and I'm messing with the wiring in here.
Yep. So we got the FPDMs in the back. That's going to be our trigger.
Yep.
And I believe we can remove the boosters. I don't think we need those anymore. Alright, so there is a little confusion if you look online. There isn't much info about the dual FPDM of the 1314 GT500. The instructions say to use the violet wire as your trigger for your relays, and that is correct. We actually just tested with a electrical tester and key on to make sure that we have voltage through that purple wire when we key on. That's what we're going to go ahead and use, and as you can see right here, this purple wire gets wired into the blue from the lethal fuel system harness. That's going to be the trigger for the relays.
That's right. This harness is super nice quality.
A nice connection.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Luckily the E85 has dried up.
I hope so. If not, there's a fire extinguisher right behind me.
That's it.
Nice and clean. We're gonna get these mounted up.
Yeah.
Rivet nuts.
Nice.
Cool. I've already got these grounds tight. So we'll just put these rivet nuts in here. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3. Alright, what we have here is a 1/4 20 rivet nut. Just for mounting the relays. Should be a nice clean install.
All the relays are mounted.
Yeah, where's my light at?
Yes, sir.
Got the power wire ran behind the subwoofer. And we need to run that to the front of the car.
Yep.
And then this is just kind of mocked up, going to the fuel hat.
Yep. And all that slack there runs all the way to the front to the battery.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we're making our way. I'm glad we did this. It's nice and clean.
Yep.
I don't like stuff banging around.
So we're gonna run it up under here. We got a plug for the light. And set that off to the side. So it's gonna come right from the corner of the trunk down around under the carpet. And then there's a rubber grommet right there behind the battery box. Alright, so we're just going to pull the battery box and we'll be able to get to the rubber grommet, get the wire out here, connect it to the battery, and then we should be pretty much wired besides the fuel level sender, and then continue the rest.
Yeah, we decided to use we're going to use spade connectors for the fuel level sender. That way it's easy to disconnect if we need to pull the hat. And I don't have to put any heat or fire near fuel vapors.
Alright, so got the wire up. Had to take the inner fender well off and pop that through the grommet and over and up.
Yeah, so there is another grommet here, I don't know.
That's what I saw, but it might be too high to really...
So right behind here is the filter for air conditioning.
yeah.
So that's not gonna work.
So yeah, we got that lower one, and yeah.
Yeah, the lower one was the one that was most easily accessible. What I ended up doing was popping it out through the front, trying to push the wire through. So my suggestion would just be pull the inner fender, pull the grommet out, run the wire, that way you can see the wire on both sides and you can fish it through in the fender well, then put everything back.
Yep. Now we're gonna make a nice connection.
Yeah.
We got some nice lead ends to go to the battery.
Yep, gotta trim this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery box and the battery back in first. That way we know how everything's gonna sit.
Yep.
And then we'll go ahead and trim this to fit, get our connectors on there, heat shrink, and then we're gonna pull the blower.
Yep.
Fuel lines.
Yep. Well, let's
Cool.
do it. Alright, so we got the blower off. My time lapse got interrupted, but there she is. We're gonna get the fuel lines routed and start getting this thing close to being put back together. Alright, so the next step is to kind of figure out where, oh, that fan feels so much better that way. Alright, so our next step is to figure out where all the fuel lines go, how all the fittings go, and basically make a plan to get it installed in the car.
So we got some more fittings, we got the Y block, and we're just kind of mocking everything up right now. I think I have it pretty much figured out, so we're going to be feeding each of the rails from the back.
Yep, we actually have it kind of laid out on the ground. This may not look like too much sense to some of you guys, but it makes sense to us.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it.
This has got to be a 10.
Alright, so we got all the plastic under panels off, and we're going to be removing factory feed, make room for our new return and feed. That's where the factory fuel filter is, if you didn't know. It's under a little plastic panel. And we're going to be running lines up through here, up around under the inner fender well and into the engine bay, staying away from heat and everything there. Alright, so we got a return.
Yeah, I think it's going to be easier to put the return in from the top.
Yep. Feed her down. Alright, so we got the feed and return threaded right in through the small little hole right here. That's going to run down around here and up into the engine bay.
Alright, so what we're doing here is we're just making our own bracket for the fuel pressure regulator. The one that we have, it kind of will work, but the fuel line in the back is really tight, and if I move it forward a little bit, this is really going to help me. So these are the two holes that are on the fender. These are the two holes on the regulator. We're going 3/16 here and 5/16 here. Give it just a little bit of wiggle room.
Alright, we got the regulator mounted. I think we got the lines pretty close to where we need them to go.
Yep. Then we're gonna mount the rails and put the blower on. I gotta mount my rails.
I'd rather wake up next to a stranger than wake up next to you. It's your weekly routine that.
Alright, so blower is on, mounted. We got the belt on. We got the regulator's boost reference. We also got our gauge there. So the way this works is we got the feeds go into the back side of the rail, so feed, and then our return comes off the front, goes to the regulator, then returns out the back. Typically, deadhead systems go to the regulator, then to the rails, and then returns. This one is a little bit different. Alright, you ready, Jordan?
I've been ready.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, so we got the fuel filter and feed and return lines mounted right there. Goes up into the hat. And obviously everything runs, so that's good. Got some last minute buttoning up to do, and then I think we're done. I got a new tune to load in.
Yep.
I think that's it. Alright, so while I am loading on the new Palm Beach Dyno fuel system tune, Cody is getting the wheels. He's getting the welds swapped off the back. We're gonna put my stock GT500 rear wheels on it so that we have a nice street tire for the dyno. So one, we have a normal dyno number, and two, dynos can sometimes mess up drag radials, so we don't want to mess up those. Time to load in the trailer. We got Cody. Yeah, we gotta put wood out.
Not bad, boy.
Nice. Get ready for the dyno. Stock wheels on. Oh yeah. All right, so we finished the fuel system on the car, and we had some issues putting it into the trailer. So we actually had to go get a battery this morning, and we got a battery in the car. Everything's good now. The battery just died from being on the lift for so long, but we're gonna go take the first test drive, go get some E85, and maybe try a few wide open throttle pulls. Driving. Yes, sir. Oh boy. Should we test it?
Send it.
Oh boy. Alright. So we're driving. I think we might test rip it. So we're gonna head over to Mexico real quick. Pretty clean. All right, test rip number 2. Alright, so you just saw the video of the first polls. So this is a bass tune, but I was watching air to fuel ratio, and I got to look at spark, and those look good, no knock, and yeah, it looked good. And if you notice, we were doing 30-gear polls just so that we could look at the data. We got nice slow data, and it looked pretty good, so I'm pretty excited. One thing I'm really excited about is obviously we did a lower RPM poll, but it seems like it might like hook up because the cams seem to shift the power band up higher in the RPM range. So it's a monster up top, and it seems like it's a little bit softer on the hit, which will help with traction. And that was on Indy Firehawks too, which is pretty impressive. Granted, we were doing about a 50-60 mile an hour roll rolling into it, but yeah. Alright guys, so I hope you're super excited. Also, new t-shirts up on the website, mustanglifestyle.net. We are going to go wash this thing because it is filthy from the 700 miles of braking and just kind of sitting around for a little bit. So we're gonna get this thing cleaned up. We're here with Nick. Go check out his Facebook page, link in the description. We're gonna get this thing cleaned off. We actually have a ceramic coating, so hopefully it will go back to looking normal. But yeah, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up, ready for the dyno. Then you'll see that video next. Oh, this pretty thing. Chop, chop, chop. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video. We got the fuel system installed. Huge shout out to Jordan, Modular Head Shop. He helped install it. Obviously, I've been having some issues with my knee, and it's really hard to kind of stand for a long period of time and lean over a car, so that really helped out. Cody also helped out a lot. We were missing some minor components, and he was able to go home to his house, pick them up, and bring them over to us and help us install the fuel system. And of course, Lethal Performance, we have a link down in the description to the fuel system. Comment down below what you think the car is making in that 3rd to 4th gear pull video, because we have no idea, but tuning was on point. And yeah, I mean, it has a 2.6 upper, 10% lower on it with a ported blower and higher compression, so we'll see what it is. Also, head down in the description to mustanglifestyle.net to pick up a GT500 t-shirt, help support what we do, and I think we're going to be doing a giveaway in the dyno video, so look out for that. I'll do a giveaway. I'll tell you guys what you got to do, and yeah, so make sure to slap the like button if you are excited, comment down below, and